It's time for high school basketball on your local sports leader. Classic Hits 97.9 XFM. Let's go courtside for pregame information.
And we welcome you back to the 88th Annual National Trail Conference Tournament. I'm Matt Robinson. Dustin White and I will be calling the action once again this evening as we are looking forward to a couple of semifinal games, one on the consolation side of things to start us off, as it'll be Windsor Sioux Straws taking on South Central. And then in the nightcap, a championship game semifinal, as it'll be Altamont and Dietrich. And Dustin, we've been talking about it for a little while. We expected some good games once we got to Thursday and Friday and into Saturday, and I think last night proved that we weren't disappointed at all.
Yeah, yesterday certainly wasn't a disappointment. 3 games and 3 solid competitive matchups. You might look at the score of that final game of the night between St. Anthony and St. Elmo Brownstown and say, well, that wasn't close, but that just means you weren't there, because for 3 quarters it was an excellent game, and Windsor Sioux Straws got locked up in a good one with Neoga yesterday. You had a solid competition in the middle game as well. It was really just what we had hoped for, and really kind of what I expect the rest of the way. We've got 6 more games in this tournament, and I got no reason to believe that any of them will be one-sided. At least that'd be the smart money, I'd say.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. As you've got South Central coming into this game. Admittedly, they had an off night in their opener against Dietrich. You have to give Dietrich a lot of credit for that as well.
Yeah.
But they're looking to come back and prove that they're a little better team than what they showed the other night, and they're going to be taking it up against the Windsor Sioux Straws team that will be playing on back-to-back nights. And you know, South Central did beat this Windsor Sioux Straws club earlier in the season in conference play. So, you know, it'll just be interesting to see how this one shapes up from the start.
Well, I think that you got to just flush that game in the first against Dietrich if you're South Central, right? I mean, the Cougars obviously could play that game a number more times and not lose by 42 points, any of those, but it was just not their night for any number of reasons. And once that train got going, there was no getting it stopped, and so they'll just try to bounce back. I'm sure they had an interesting day of practice to talk that one over, but they know, right? Like, they're playing against the Windsor Sioux team that they have been able to beat before, and they got to get back to doing the things they could do to be a winning team. I mean, they came into this tournament with a record above 500. They're the 7th or 6th seed here, but they had one more than they lost coming into the week's play.
So we've got Windsor Sioux Straws and South Central in the opener. We've got Altamont and Dietrich in a semifinal matchup later tonight. Should be a fun night at the 88th Annual National Trail Conference Tournament. If you can't be in here in person, we appreciate you joining us on the air here at 97.9 XFM, 97.9XFM.com, and on our video stream on our YouTube channel. Has been doing good work over there all week long to make sure we can get you the best coverage of the 88th Annual National Trail Conference Tournament. We'll come back with some more pregame information here on Classic Hits 97.9 XFM.
Tom Henderson State Farm Insurance helps people manage the risk of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and help you realize your dreams. Contact Tom Henderson today.
Video and audio streaming of the 2024 National Trail Conference Tournament is proudly presented by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Northside Ford on North Keller Drive in Effingham will find a vehicle that works for you. Check out Northside Ford's selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs today.
Person-to-person money transfer. Easy, the way it should be. Learn more at crossroadsbank.com. Crossroads Bank. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Compass Advisory Group is here to guide you in the right direction for all of your investment and insurance needs. Contact Kurt Strohmeyer or Corey McDaniel at 217-347-9697.
Video and audio streaming of the 2024 National Trail Conference Tournament is proudly presented by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
This is the Dan Heck Chevrolet Toyota pregame show. For all your transportation needs, see Dan Heck Chevrolet Toyota as they celebrate 65 years of serving the area.
The Windsor Stew Straws Hatchets emerged from their locker room after going down and getting a little more instruction. South Central is in their locker room as we speak, but they'll be coming back up soon as we get set for this consolation semifinal bracket game. The winner of this contest moves on to take on North Clay in the consolation game tomorrow afternoon, as North Clay defeated Cowden Herrick Beecher City 61-52 last night. And that means Cowden Herrick Beecher City will await the loser of this contest. And then, of course, St. Anthony defeated St. Elmo Brownstown last night 51-32. And St. Anthony awaits the winner of our next contest between Altamont and Dietrich, with St. Elmo Brownstown getting the team that loses that contest. And I kind of chuckled there because if you lose a tough game tonight, no matter how that's going to go, and then you have to turn around and play St. Elmo Brownstown, that's no easy feat at all in that third-place game tomorrow afternoon.
Of course, St. Elmo Brownstown looking at it, well, we got to play either Altamont or Dietrich. You know, it's not easy for them either, but that's this tournament, you know, and especially those top four teams. It didn't. If the seeds held all the way to the semifinals, then you knew that the third place in championship games, no matter what combination came out of it, it was going to be something pretty special. And so we'll wait seeing exactly what the schedule has for us. But I don't care who plays who; it's going to be fun.
And you know what? So far, the seeds have held exactly true throughout this week, which, you know, that doesn't always happen here at the NTC tournament because of the competitive nature of these teams. But it also shows, these coaches kind of know what they're doing when they're looking at the other teams in the conference and evaluating them when they have that seeding meeting there a couple of weeks ago. And just to kind of wrap up the preview or the recap, rather, of last night, Windsor Stew Straws did beat Neoga last night in the opener 49-44. And as they kind of had a play-in game after losing on Tuesday to Altamont 71-44 to get into this consolation bracket semifinal contest.
And they trailed that game most of the way, fell behind early, got even in the second quarter, but immediately fell back behind, and even in the third quarter down by as many as 9 points. But, stayed true to their game plan, got some good performances from some of their complimentary players, I would say. Even though Jackson Girdle still scored a bunch of points, he was being focused on. And, they made it happen. They clawed back and got the win and showed Coach Smith some real character in getting that come-from-behind victory.
Well, both of these teams are going to be looking to move to the consolation game tomorrow afternoon, as we have Windsor Stew Straws and South Central getting set at the 88th Annual NCC Tournament. We'll take a quick 60-second break, come back with some more pregame information on Classic Hits 97.9 XFM.
Hi, this is Kathy from Barlow Lock and Security. Secure your home or business with a customized system from us. Good luck, area teams in the tournament.
Video and audio streaming of the 2024 National Trail Conference Tournament is proudly presented by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3. Since 1937, Geckner Brothers has been proud to support local and area teams, and that continues with this year's NTC tournament. Best of success area teams from the family at Geckner Brothers.
Washington Savings Bank is here for you through every stage of life. We make banking easy and convenient.
All right, we're back here at Altamont, getting set for Windsor Stew Straws and South Central in this consolation semifinal. Both teams finishing up their warm-ups, Matt, and 7-seed Hatchets against 6-seed Cougars. Looking forward to a good one here.
Yeah, absolutely. As these two teams, you think, well, you're playing a game tomorrow no matter what. It's going to be the 7th place game or the consolation game. I tell you, that consolation sounds a lot better to be a part of, especially if you're able to go on and say that you were consolation champions.
what do you think is better, consolation champions or fifth-place finisher? Because it's the same thing.
It is.
What has a better ring to it to you?
I don't know. It's always been consolation champion for the whole time of the tournament, as far as I'm concerned and from what I've heard. So I would say that. I mean, you could say, look, we had a rough game in our first game, but look how we battled back, and we won everything else.
It's got that word champion at the end. Yes, it does. So that does kind of give it a little bit more positive connotation.
Yeah, as we have a real positive vibe about tonight's game, as the big gym in Altamont is starting to fill up pretty quickly, considering we're getting underway with the consolation bracket game between Windsor Stew Straws and South Central. Altamont being in the nightcap, they always bring a great crowd, and so does the Dietrich Moving Maroons. So we're looking, we see some folks from Dietrich, we see some folks of Altamont already kind of claiming their spots up in the stands.
It'll really fill up by about halftime of this game, I imagine.
Should be a great night of basketball. We'll take a 90-second break and be back with more pregame information. You're on Classic Hits 97.9 XFM.
Heartland Human Services is proud to sponsor the NTC tournament. Your physical and mental health are similar. Take care of both for a happy, healthy life. If you've got a passion for helping others, apply today at heartlandhs.org. Video and audio streaming of the 2024 National Trail Conference Tournament is proudly presented by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
Come see all the new and exciting Chevrolet and Toyota vehicles here at Dan Heck Chevrolet Toyota, South Route 45 in Effingham, or shop and buy 24/7 at danheck.com.
Thanks for watching the NTC Tournament, provided by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3. Diedrich Bank is proud to sponsor the NTC Tournament. Diedrich Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Welcome back to the 88th Annual National Trail Conference Tournament at Altamont, as we are getting set for a consolation semifinal matchup between Windsor Stew Straws and South Central. Let's turn it over to Dustin White for those starting lineups in the play-by-play.
All right, thank you very much, Matt Robinson. For number 6 seeded South Central Cougars, the visiting team tonight, they come in with an 11-11 record under Blake Doring, and it's going to be Cage Heaston, number 12, a 6'1 junior, averaging 4.5 points a game. Did not score in the Cougars opener of this tournament. He'll be joined by Max Magnus. He's a 6-foot senior. He wears number 14, averages 10 a game for South Central, but also held out of the scoring column in the opener against Dietrich. Number 20, Callaway Smith. He's a 6-foot junior, 6.3 points a game this year, and he scored right around that, 7 points against Dietrich. Then it's Seth Bergman. He wears number 40. He's a 6'2 junior. He scored 2 points the other night, has 7.4 points per game for his average on the year. And rounding out that starting lineup for South Central, it's Jacob Smith, a 6'2 senior wearing number 45, 3.5 points a game this year, 7 points against Dietrich in the opener for the Cougars. For Windsor Stew Straws under Coach Shane Smith, 11-13 on the year, and it's the same 5 that they have used all week here at Altamont, and that includes number 10, Connor Manhart. He is a 5'10 senior, 13.2 points per game. He has scored 12 across the tournament. Aiden Sayers, he's a 6'1 sophomore wearing number 12, 5.1 points per game, 8 points in 2 tournament games so far. For Jackson Gergel, number 15, he's a 6'1 junior, 16.4 points per game, and he's right around there in this tournament, 34 points in the 2 tournament games. Nathaniel Gracie, wearing number 22, he's a 6'3 senior, 8.8 points a game this season, 21 points in the 2 tournament games so far. And finally, Brody Hendrickson, a 6'2 senior, he wears number 50, 3.4 points per game this year, but 14 points in the tournament, and more notably got into double figures yesterday against Neoga. really hit some big shots for these Hatchets when some of the other boys were being covered up a little bit.
Yeah, and appreciate those lineups. And if you want to kind of play the name game, a lot of Smiths involved in this ball game, and none of them are related to each other. As Callaway Smith and Jacob Smith playing for South Central, no relation. Even though Jacob Smith's dad is Shane Smith, it's not the Shane Smith that's coaching Windsor Stew Straws. And by the way, just to throw it out there, Callaway does have a twin brother, Colton, but he is not a part of the basketball program this year.
It's almost like Smith is a really common last name or something like that. Windsor Stew Straws wins the tip, and we are underway in our first of 2 games here at Altamont, 4th night of this 88th NTC tournament. This is a consolation semifinal, and the Hatchets have the ball first. Manhart with it right now. Dribbles around the screen and can kind of get shoved out. Gracie gets it into Sayers in the paint, right back out to Gracie at the top. Girdle holds now on the wing, gets a screen from Gracie, goes back to the top. They're just working it around right now as Sayers got it in the corner, then handed it off to Girdle. Now into the high post is Hendrickson out top to Manhart, now hands to Gracie. Patient possession for the Hatchets to get things started. Finally, though, Jackson Girdle pulls up for a mid-range jumper, gets that 2-pointer to go, and Windsor Stew Straws ahead 2-0.
Well, it's a triangle and 2 defense to start off for South Central with a man on Manhart and a man on Gurgle. But Gurgle finally shook free.
They saw what Yoga did yesterday to some pretty good effect at times, and they're going to use the same strategy defensively. So it's Cougar basketball to get things started, and finding some space in the post as Seth Bergman went to the rim on the right side, but he was fouled in the act of shooting, couldn't finish it, so he'll take a couple of free throws.
Foul is going to be whistled against Aiden Sayers. It'll be his first, and obviously the first in the ball game, as the Cougars did a nice job of working the ball inside against the 2-3 zone that the Hatchet threw out there at them.
They're wearing green and white mostly, so it's kind of easy to make that mistake. But of course, there's the blue accents, and I really like what they've done with their uniforms since the combination of the Windsor and Stew Straws programs. Seth Bergman leaves that first free throw a little short. He'll have another.
But the issue is it's been a while since they've been Comets. It's been Hatchets for a while.
It's true. We've had a little time to get used to it. Bergman switches the second free throw, 1 for 2 trip for him, and the Cougars are on the board. 2-1 Hatchets, and it is Windsor Stew Straws basketball. Sayers has it out on the wing, gets it out top to Gracie. Thought about a deep 3, couldn't find room, instead drives in, contested shot, leaning in from the elbow, missed it, and the rebound came down to Bergman. So Cougars have the ball. They have a chance to possibly take their first lead of the night on this possession. Just a minute and a half into this consolation semifinal. Houston with it right now. Gets it over on the wing. That's Callaway Smith. Dumps it into Bergman in the post, and now they'll swing it back out top. Now on the other side, it's Magnus holding on the wing, doesn't dribble, gets it back over to Houston. Top of the key picks up his dribble. They get it over to Callaway Smith. Let's go of a 3-pointer from the wing and left it very short. Nathaniel Gracie just lets that rebound go out of bounds, and it'll be Hatchet basketball.
Coach Dorian is saying someone got a piece of that shot when it left Smith's hand, but Smith didn't react that way, and the officials said no, so it'll be Hatchet bringing it up the court.
Yes, Windsor Stew Straws with the ball. Gurgle on the wing. Picked it up momentarily, dribbled in, saw the help coming, and decided that he thought better of that. Gets it back out to Gracie. Now out top is with it is Manhart. He's working on Houston. Gurgle takes the pass, comes around the screen, dumps it into Hendrickson in the post. Tried to make the unselfish pass to Nathaniel Gracie, but a couple of things. A little too much mustard on it, perhaps, and I don't think Gracie was ready for it either. I think it goes out of bounds.
I think he was going for a rebounding position, thinking his teammate was going to shoot that, and then when the pass came, just hit off and went out of bounds.
Hatchet turnover at the 5.5-minute mark, their first of the game, so it'll be Cougar basketball. They trail 2-1 early on here. Easton with it now, gets it over to Magnus in the corner. He'll take a 3-pointer from that right corner, no good. And the rebound comes down into the hands of Jacob Smith. As he went to go back up, he was fouled.
Jacob was fouled after grabbing that offensive board by number 12. And that's going to be a big foul early as Aiden Sayers picked up the personal as Ryland Rinker jumps off the bench. And Sayers, a key player for this club, obviously is a starter. And Windsor Stew Straws will go a couple of the deep, but don't want to see anybody in foul trouble this early if you're a Hatchet fan.
They don't play 7 unless they have to. Play more than 7 unless they have to. That's kind of how it goes. Is the first foul shot for Smith is good, and then Jacob makes it a 2-for-2 trip. So the Cougars get out in front for the first time, 3-2. Hendrickson hands off to Gergel. Gergel quickly shoots a three-pointer on this end. Strong with the rebound is Jacob Smith. He and Bergman both 6'2", the biggest kids really in this South Central lineup. As Houston has it now. Cougar ball with the lead.
And so far, they've cleaned up all the rebounds in the game.
Magnus has it deep on the wing. Skips one over. That's Callaway Smith driving in. Acrobatic shot.
Ooh.
Bounces off the rim a couple of times. Offensive rebound, though, comes into the hands of Jacob Smith on the weak side in the middle of the paint, really. And he puts up a short jumper. His putback is good. He's got 4, and it's a 3-point Cougar lead. Gracie with it on the blocks on the other end of the floor for the Hatchets. Gets one over to Manhart. Manhart's 2-point jumper is no good, but Hendrickson got the offensive rebound. He lets one go. That's also off the mark. This time Houston with the rebound. He goes one into the floor to the other. Contested shot in the lane, missed, but an offensive rebound for Seth Bergman. And now a long 2-point jumper for Smith is off the mark. Couple of chances there for the Cougars. And finally, it is Gergel coming out with the rebound. He brings it down the floor. They went from Manhart back to Gergel, now to Gracie in the paint. Lost control of the basketball for a second, but that allows them to find an open three-point attempt for Connor Manhart. He doesn't need much room to make that shot, and he ties us up at 5.
We talked about it being a triangle and 2. Well, the defender on Manhart, when he saw the ball get knocked free, reacted to it. When Windsor Stew Straws beat him to the ball, then they were able to get the shooter open.
5-point tie, Cougar basketball. Easton with it out top. Now over to Magnus on the wing. Magnus looking, dumps it into the paint. Jacob Smith was a lane to the basket. Not exactly sure why he had so much room there, but able to go in for the layup. He's got 6 of the Cougars, 7 points.
I don't think he was sure why he had that room. As he turned around and was stunned, nobody was there, almost hesitated for a second, and then took it to the hoop.
Good defensive play on the other end as Manhart was bringing the ball down the left side. He had it knocked away from behind by Houston. Then it went off of Manhart's leg out of bounds. Second Hatchet turnover. So the Cougars with the ball with a 2-point lead as we hit the 3-minute mark of this first quarter. Working it around the perimeter right now, deep. Still haven't really pushed it in yet.
Ooh.
Oh, and there's a tall pass, and that's just unforced error for Cage Easton there as he threw it over the head of Seth Bergman. First South Central turnover.
It looked to me like a Hatchet defender got a finger on it, and then it hit Bergman before it went out of bounds, and the official pointed at Bergman. So it's either way, doesn't really matter. It's a South Central turnover and their first of the ball game.
I didn't even see the fingertip. I just thought it threw it too high, but that makes a little bit more sense because that one was well off the mark. So it's Windsor Stew Straws with the ball now. They trail by 2. Gergel had it. Now over to Gracie. Now Manhart. Manhart into Hendrickson in the paint to Gracie's driving to the rim. Gracie put up that shot without ever squaring up to the basket. Missed it. And on the weak side in the battle for the rebound, there's a foul going against the Cougars.
Yeah, Jacob Smith's going to pick up the first Cougar personal here with 2:28 to play in the first quarter as Gergel had inside position and Smith kind of tried to go through him to get to the board.
Gergel's going to trigger the inbound here on the baseline. Just has to throw it out top. In fact, all the way into the backcourt is backpedaling and getting it is Gracie. He brings it across midcourt. Now passes up to Jackson Gergel. Gergel over to Gracie. Gracie's going to pull the trigger on a three-pointer. Too strong. Hendrickson, weak side rebound. His shot off the glass is no good. Rebound tapped up in the air once by Jacob Smith, and then he comes down with it. So he's got a bunch of boards and 6 points in this game.
Yeah, I've got that with his 4th rebound already, and we're only 6 minutes into the game.
You'll take that kind of production from him. Houston has it. Gets it over to Callaway Smith. He faked the 3. Dribbled over to the wing, faked again. Now he's trapped. Tries to get it in the high post to Jacob Smith. He had it knocked away. He wanted to know maybe if he got fouled. Instead, it comes to a teammate, so they'll just sort of re-rack their offense.
Out top, though, Connor Manhart is wreaking havoc as he's got his hands on a couple of balls, but the Cougars have been able to retain possession.
Magnus to Houston, over to Callaway Smith on the wing. That's the right wing. Now back out top. Houston with it. Right at about in front of the center circle. Just haven't progressed more than, well, now they get it inside the arc just barely to the top post for a second, but right back out. Callaway Smith holding now.
And just no room inside against this zone until now.
They try to dump one into the paint, lob into Bergman. He catches it, but then had some traffic in the paint as he was trying to corral that one. and apparently a foul against the Hatchets. That's going to be Gracie.
Yeah, Nathaniel Gracie is called for the reach there as he came from the weak side when that pass was caught. They say he got him on the arm. So it's Gracie's first and the team's third.
Hendrickson sits down for the Hatchets. Colton Bridges, the 6'1 senior, gets into the game. Cage Heaston will sit down for South Central. And the freshman, Weston Nielsen, a 6-footer, into the game for the first time. Lob pass into Jacob Smith off the baseline inbound. He comes in for that one. Catches it, shoots it. He was fouled, makes it a chance for the 3-point play, and the Cougars are up 4.
Well, Jacob Smith has had a heck of a first quarter here as he has 8 of the 9 points for South Central. And that foul whistled on Colton Bridges is his first and the team's fourth. And now we see another Cougar substitution.
Seth Jones, a 6'3 junior, into the action as Smith makes the free throw, so he's got the 3-point play and 9 points. More importantly, the Cougars have their biggest lead of the night at 10-5. Minute change to go here in this first quarter. Gracie with it. Over to Gergel. Gergel going to drive in. Wanted to pass. That pass got tipped. Rinker caught it, but then his shot was blocked by Jacob Smith. He got his own rebound. Another shot affected, but then Bridges gets the offensive rebound. He puts it up and in as he was fouled. So good defensive first for the Cougars, but excellent work on the offensive glass for Windsor Stew Straws, and they're finally able to get a chance at the 3-point play here.
Yeah, they just stuck with it down there.
Bridges' free throw rattles out. Nielsen comes flying in for the board. It'll stay 10-7, so South Central's lead is at 3 now. 44 seconds to go in the first quarter. Magnus out top, over to Nielsen. Nielsen bounces one back out to Magnus. They may be thinking about, unless Windsor Stew Straws steps out a little bit more, about trying to play for the last one here.
It appears that they are going to pressure out of that zone a little farther. Now they've looked almost man here.
Nielsen thought about driving as he caught that one on the backside of things and had a little bit of room, but then that all got cut down and they'll set things back up. We're down to 12 seconds, so now pretty safe to assume the Cougars will play for the last one.
Still a zone, but they're chasing all over the court.
Magnus drew a crowd, got it over to Callaway Smith for a wing 3. He was open, left it short. Gergel with the rebound. A heave from three-quarters court at the buzzer, and that one hit the rim. Looked pretty good, but couldn't quite get it to go. That would have been a momentum boost for the Hatchets, but instead they will have a 3-point deficit as the first quarter comes to an end. 8 minutes in the book. It is South Central 10, Windsor Stew Straws 7. National Trail Conference Tournament basketball here on 97.9 XFM.
Tom Henderson State Farm Insurance helps people manage the risk of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and help you realize your dreams. Contact Tom Henderson today.
Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Northside Ford on North Color Drive in Effingham will find a vehicle that works for you. Check out Northside Ford's selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs today.
Hi, this is Kathy from Barlow Lock and Security. Secure your home or business with a customized system from us. Good luck, area teams in the tournament.
Thanks for watching the NTC Tournaments, provided by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
10-7, South Central leads Windsor Stew Straws after a quarter. How about some numbers from that first quarter, Matt?
South Central 3 of 8 from the field, 4 of 5 at the free throw line, 0 for 2 from 3-point range. Windsor Stew Straws 3 of 12 from the field, 0 of 1 from the free throw line, and 1 of 3 from beyond the arc.
Cougars attacked quickly on their first possession of the quarter. They got an open three-pointer from Magnus. He left it short, and the rebound trickles out of bounds, and it'll be Windsor Stew Straws basketball. So not a bad look for Max Magnus, but still pretty much Jacob Smith doing the work for the Cougars. He's got 9 of their 10 points.
Yeah, he's made obviously all their shots from the field, 3 of 4. The rest of the team is struggling so far.
Gergel with it out on the wing. Out top, that is Gracie over to Ryland Rinker. He didn't make a clean catch. He wanted to shoot the 3, but he was still so open by the time he collected the ball. Went ahead and put it up anyway, missed from long range, and Heaston with the rebound. So the Cougars get the ball back. They lead by 3. Weston Nielsen, the freshman, dribbling with his left hand on the wing, skips a pass over to Magnus. Magnus dribbles once and then gets it back out top to Heaston. Easton dribbles over to the wing, back to Nielsen. Nielsen over to the top of the key. He puts up a three-pointer, and he nailed it. So there you go. There's somebody with a field goal besides Jacob Smith, and it is Weston Nielsen putting his Cougars up by 6, their largest lead of the night.
Just squared up at the top of the key and buried it.
Jackson Gergel for the Hatchets. Thought about driving baseline, didn't have the room, so he'll bring it back out top and set up the offense. Hands to Manhart. Bounce pass over to Bridges, and he gives it over to Gracie. Gracie puts up a 3-2 strong rebound off the hands of Nielsen, but he was able to collect it before Manhart could come over and take it away from him. So Weston Nielsen, the freshman, having a pretty good start to this second quarter. His Cougars have a half-dozen-point lead and the basketball.
He felt that ball slipping away a little bit, but got a hold of it.
Magnus drives in. Two-pointer shot on the baseline is way too strong, but the rebound batted out. Finally getting it is Gergel. So several people got a hand on that one, but it was ultimately Jackson Gergel for the Hatchets who came away with a defensive board, and they can see about cutting into their 6-point deficit. That's going to be Manhart trying to do that. His three-pointer is no good, but Rinker with the weak side rebound. Hatchets will keep it. Lots of Smiths in the game, but if I say Rinker, you should know which team I'm talking about.
That's for sure. Been that way for centuries, it seems.
As long as ever. Long 2-point for Rylan Rinker, but another rebound for Nathaniel Gracie. Gracie gets it over to Gergel. Gergel went up for a shot, had it knocked away from him, but then he was able to recollect the basketball and put that one in anyway. So Jackson Gergel's got 4, and the Hatchets are back within 4, 13-9.
Well, they just kept grabbing offensive rebounds until they finally got a shot inside, and they got it to go.
Yeah, I mean, Windsor Stu Straw's done a pretty good job on that offensive glass so far. Weston Nielsen going to pull the trigger on another 3. That one was in and out. And Gracie gets the defensive board for the Hatchets. Gergel brings it up, gets it over to Gracie on the wing. He probably could have shot a 3 if he wanted to, and he will do it occasionally. Got a screen from Bridges, about as close to a moving screen as you can get, but then driving in, you see Gergel put up a shot, and he was fouled.
So Gergel will go to the line for a couple. We'll see who gets the personal. It is going to be number 45, Jacob Smith. Only 2 fouls. Well, they've got 3 now on the board for Smith. So he has all 3 of the personals for the Cougars here, and he's scored almost all their points.
Yeah, that's a big one there. So he'll sit down if Callaway Smith gets back in. First free throw for Gergel was good, by the way. Give him 5. But Callaway Smith gets in there. Brody Hendrickson also back into the game for Windsor Stu Straws. So that's going to go a little bigger with the big man Smith on the bench in foul trouble. Second free throw for Gergel rattles around, no good. And Magnus comes up with the rebound. So it's 13-10 Cougars after the 1-for-2 trip to the foul line for Gergel. Nielsen bounces a pass to Callaway Smith on the baseline. He skips it out top to Heaston. Now over to Weston Nielsen. Nielsen to Heaston. Now back over to Nielsen, bounces it in. Callaway Smith backing in, gets it to Seth Bergman, and there's a strong move on the left block. Seth Bergman's got his first field goal. He's got 3 points. Cougars back up 5.
An interior pass in close quarters, but it worked out as Callaway Smith got it to Bergman, who was able to finish on the left side.
Sayers also back into the game for Windsor Stu Strauss. Gets to Rylan Rinker at the top, drives halfway in, now kicks back out to Gergel, spins around, long, tough 2-point jumper, no good. And Bergman gets the rebound. So Jacob Smith had to take a seat, and Seth Bergman seems to be taking the mantle as far as doing the big man stuff for the Cougars. There's a pass almost picked off by Manhart, but into the hands of Heaston. Now he'll kick out for an open 3, and Weston Nielsen has got himself a couple of triples. 6 points for him, and all of a sudden Windsor Stu Strauss trails by 8, its largest deficit of the night.
Great penetration and kick, though. Credit Heaston for really setting that shot up.
Sayers on the baseline dumps a pass across the lane to Rinker. Rinker didn't want to shoot, tried to bounce a pass to Hendrickson. Nobody there, got the ball back, missed a shot. He was able to get his own offensive rebound, and then Callaway Smith all over him on that putback attempt. And it's going to be Rylan Rinker shooting some free throws this time. So the Hatchets continue to really give themselves a lot of second and third chances down there.
And Rylan Rinker in particular has been working hard on that offensive glass. And the Cougars in that zone, meaning the triangle and 2, it's harder to find a man when you're part of that triangle to box out when you're not have a man that you're defending right, out on the perimeter or inside.
And we're seeing the signs of that as Rinker did miss the first free throw. Nathaniel Gracie wants to check in, but he needs Rinker to make that second shot from the foul stripe, and he doesn't oblige. Left it short. Max Magnus picks up the board. Coming across the timeline with Easton for that pass, almost an over and back. He got close enough.
He got the feet down just in time to make the catch on the backside of the line.
Now Easton driving in, let the defense clear, put up the shot. He missed it. Weak side rebound for Bergman. He puts up a shot off the mark, and now it's South Central's chance to clean up on the offensive board. It was Callaway Smith getting that second offensive rebound, so the Cougars will reset down, or rather up 8, 3:05 to go before halftime. Low-scoring game, but the Cougars have the 8-point lead. They dump it down into Bergman, right back out top. Open three-pointer for Callaway Smith. A little off to the right. He misses. Gergel with the rebound. And Jackson will bring it up the floor in a hurry, gets it to the three-point line, and hands to Manhart, who tried to put a move on the defense and had it knocked away. Magnus comes out of the fray with it, the first hatchet turnover of the quarter. Nielsen holding on the left wing now for the Cougars, puts it on the floor a couple of times. Bergman over to Magnus on the opposite side of the floor. Cougar basketball, they could go up by double digits for the first time tonight on this trip, and they will, because Weston Nielsen just hit his third three-pointer of the night. He's got 9, and it is an 11-point South Central lead.
He's 3 for 4 from beyond the arc, all here in this second quarter.
Hendrickson holds out top, gets it over to Gergel in the corner, dribbles back out to the wing. As the Hatchets find themselves down by 11 points here, 2 minutes before halftime. Sayers with it, now out top. That is Gergel. He's going to drive in, absorbs a little contact, and takes the fadeaway jumper. Hendrickson with the offensive rebound, but as he tried to stay in bounds and throw it to his teammate, it was taken away by Seth Bergman, and then Coach Blake Doring for South Central takes the timeout. We'll take it with him. 1:53 to go before halftime. It is South Central 21, Windsor Stew Straws back in 30 seconds here on 97.9 XFM.
Washington Savings Bank is here for you through every stage of life. We make banking easy and convenient.
Heartland Human Services is proud to sponsor the NTC tournament. Your physical and mental health are similar. Take care of both for a happy, healthy life. If you've got a passion for helping others, apply today at heartlandhs.org.
Well, not to rub salt in any wounds here, Matt, but it's 21-10 South Central, and the Cougars have already scored more points tonight than they did in their quarterfinal game against Diederich. They're playing much better brand of basketball tonight.
Yeah, and, I mean, they're taking care of the ball first and foremost. South Central, I have them with 1 turnover in this ball game. Windsor Sioux Straw's not doing bad in that aspect, just 4 for the game as they've split them between the 2 quarters. But now a little more pressure from the Hatchets on the inbound. It looks like they're going to drop back.
It is going to be Manhart staying in front of Heaston as he brought it across the timeline, gets it over to Weston Nielsen, who all of a sudden has the team lead with 9 points. Meanwhile, on the other side of the floor, Gage Heaston drove into the rim and put one off the glass and good. His first 2 points, and the lead swells to 13 for South Central.
Hatchets in the man-to-man. Cougars responded well.
Gergel drove in, drew the defense away from Brody Hendrickson on the baseline. He puts up that jumper and makes it for 2. He's got 2 points, and it's 23-12 Cougars.
And that's the kind of shot we saw Hendrickson make a lot last night.
Yeah, he really saved their bacon in that game when they could have let that game get a little more out of hand in the first half. Hendrickson made some big shots against Neoga. Easton tries to bounce a pass into Seth Bergman on the South Central end of the floor. It's knocked out of bounds by the Cougars. A couple of subs in. Evan Hoover going to get in for the first time for South Central, a 5'9 junior. Replaces Heaston in the lineup.
Colton Bridges came in for the Hatchets, and he replaced Hendrickson.
It's going to be Magnus inbounding on the baseline under his own basket. Gets it into Nielsen, but he was covered up quickly, so he spins around. Fadeaway jumper is no good. Chasing down the loose ball rebound is Callaway Smith, who got the last hand on it. He was fighting with Blaze Verdine in the game for the first time as well. That eventually went out of bounds off the Cougars.
Yeah, it looked like the Cougars might be able to secure it, but the Hatchets kept bothering them, and it just finally went out of bounds.
So Windsor Stew Straws basketball 50 seconds before halftime. They're down 11. Verdine's going to try to do something about that. Nobody wanted to step out on him, so he says, I'll drain a 3. Just in the game, he's got 3, and Hatchets are back within 8.
That's pretty good substitution right there.
Well, and really, there's a big difference between double digits and single digits going into halftime, I think, mentally. And so we'll see, though. Cougars still have the ball and 28 seconds to play with. They are ahead, 23-15. They're trying to work it around the perimeter. No, taken away. Gergel with the steal. and he is going to cruise in for the layup. Jackson Gergel's got 7 off of the first South Central turnover of the quarter, but they have seen their lead shrink from 11 to 6 in a very big hurry. 8 seconds to go for South Central to get one more shot off before halftime. They get it into the high post. I don't know if Bergman knew. Gets it over to Magnus. Long three-pointer off the mark just before the buzzer. Grabbing that rebound for Windsor Stu Straws was Colton Bridges as the buzzer sounded. So a good close to the half for Windsor Stu Straws. Closes the gap a little bit, but it still is South Central with a halftime lead. They're up on Windsor Stu Straws 23-17. We'll take a look at the stats and the scoring from that first half and clue you in on what's coming up on our airwaves tonight, as this is the first of 2 games here at the 88th National Trail Conference Tournament here on 97.9 XFM.
Come see all the new and exciting Chevrolet and Toyota vehicles here at Dan Heck Chevrolet Toyota, South Route 45 in Effingham, or shop and buy 24/7 at danheck.com.
Person-to-person money transfer. Easy, the way it should be. Learn more at crossroadsbank.com. Crossroads Bank. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Tom Henderson State Farm Insurance helps people manage the risk of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and help you realize your dreams. Contact Tom Henderson today.
Video and audio streaming of the 2024 National Trail Conference Tournament is proudly presented by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Northside Ford on North Color Drive in Effingham will find a vehicle that works for you. Check out Northside Ford's selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs today.
Person-to-person money transfer. Easy, the way it should be. Learn more at crossroadsbank.com. Crossroads Bank. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Halftime of this consolation semifinal at the 88th National Trail Conference Boys Basketball Tournament. South Central, the number 6 seed, leading number 7 Windsor Stu Straws 23-17. It was a 10-7 South Central lead after one quarter. They outscored Windsor Stu Straws 13-10 in the second period to have this 6-point lead, but they had as much as a 13-point lead in that second quarter, and the Hatchets closed out the second period in style to get us to this 6-point halftime score. And Matt Robinson, I know you've got some team stats that you could go ahead and share from that first half. Why don't you take it away there?
All right, thank you very much, Dustin. With Windsor Stu Straws shooting 7 of 23 from the field, just 30% in the first half, and they're 1 of 5 at the free throw line for 20%, 2 of 7 from three-point range at 29%. Cougars shooting a little better, and that's really why they're ahead. They're 8 of 21 from the field at 38%, 4 of 5 at the free throw line at 80%, and 3 of 10 from beyond the arc at 30%. Rebounds, I have them dead even, 15 apiece, and Windsor Stu Straws with 4 turnovers to 2 for the Cougars.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. As the Altamont Drumline and their Winter Guard and dance team are all out there simultaneously entertaining the crowd. Why don't we go ahead and take another break? When we come back, we'll get some individual numbers from Mr. Robinson and get you set for the second half of action and the second half of our doubleheader. Again, here at halftime, though, it is South Central leading Windsor Stu Straws 23-17. Back in 90 seconds here on 97.9 XFM.
Thanks for watching the NTC Tournament, provided by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3. Diedrich Bank is proud to sponsor the NTC Tournament. Diedrich Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Tom Henderson State Farm Insurance helps people manage the risk of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and help you realize your dreams. Contact Tom Henderson today.
Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Northside Ford on North Color Drive in Effingham will find a vehicle that works for you. Check out Northside Ford's selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs today.
Hi, this is Kathy from Barlow Lock and Security. Secure your home or business with a customized system from us. Good luck, area teams, in the tournament.
Washington Savings Bank is here for you through every stage of life. We make bank.
And we welcome you back to Altamont, where the drumline continues to entertain the crowd, and it's filling up pretty nicely here at Altamont. In the first game, it is South Central leading Windsor Sioux Straws 23-17. The individual stats look like this. In the first quarter, Jacob Smith from South Central was 3 of 4 from the field and 3 of 3 at the free throw line, had 9 points and grabbed 4 rebounds. He picked up his third foul, though, early in that second quarter and sat for the remainder of the first half. Well, Weston Nielsen picked up the scoring in his absence. He went 3 of 5 from the field, knocking down 3 3-pointers for his 9 points and 2 rebounds. Seth Bergman's 1 for 2 from the field and from the free throw line, 3 points and 4 rebounds. Callaway Smith 0 for 4 from the field with a rebound. Max Magnus 0 for 3 from three-point range with 2 rebounds. And Tage Easton 1 for 3 from the field, 2 points, 2 rebounds. On the other side of the ledger, Windsor Sioux Straws is led by Jackson Gergel, 3 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 at the line, 7 points and 4 rebounds. Connor Manhart 1 of 4 from the field with 3 points. Aiden Sayers didn't try a shot. He picked up 2 early fouls and had to sit much of the first half. Nathaniel Gracie's 0 for 3 from the field. Gracie has a couple of rebounds. Brody Hendrickson 1 of 3 with 2 points and 3 offensive rebounds. Rylan Rinker 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 2 at the line. He did grab 4 rebounds, though, 3 of them on the offensive end. Colton Bridges 0 for 1 from the free throw line and 1 for 1 from the field with 2 points and 2 rebounds. And Blaze Verdine came in, and Blaze knocked down a three-pointer in his only shot attempt there in the second half. So at the half, 23-17, South Central leading Windsor Sioux Straws.
All right, thanks, Matt, for those first half statistics. And why don't we go ahead and take one more break? When we come back, we can get you set for our second half here and remind you who's playing in the nightcap. Back in a minute here. It is 23-17. South Central leading Windsor Sioux Straws consolation quarterfinal action at the NTC tournament on 97.9 XFM.
Heartland Human Services is proud to sponsor the NTC tournament. Your physical and mental health are similar. Take care of both for a happy, healthy life. If you've got a passion for helping others, apply today at heartlandhs.org. Video and audio streaming of the 2024 National Trail Conference Tournament is proudly presented by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
Come see all the new and exciting Chevrolet and Toyota vehicles here at Dan Heck Chevrolet Toyota, South Route 45 in Effingham, or shop and buy 24/7 at danheck.com.
For over 30 years, SPS has been providing care to the surrounding area. Specializing in around-the-clock and hourly care, we focus on in-home and nursing home care. If you need help with your loved ones, call.
Back at Altamont, 23-17. South Central leading Windsor Sioux Straws. Both teams back out on the floor after halftime, getting a few shots up. Matt, going to be a good second half, and like we say so many times in a fairly tight ball game, it's going to really be a story of who comes out and plays well in the opening part of the third quarter as far as how the rest of the game plays out.
Yeah, if South Central comes out and goes on like a 5 or 6-0 run even, they could push the lead to double figures and make it that much more of a difficult hill for the Hatchets to climb. However, the Hatchets have done a lot of things well, but except for finish. And they have missed a lot of shots inside off their own offensive rebounds. And they just, some of those shots you have to think are going to fall for you. at some point in time, and the Hatchets are certainly hoping it's sooner than later.
Well, I guess they got to hope that it kind of goes the same way as their game with Neoga yesterday. Yeah. They were able to get to the rim in one fashion or another and get a lot of good looks up, and weren't able to convert early, and then were able to make a lot of that work for them in the second half. Against a similar game plan as far as the defense that South Central is playing and what Neoga showed them yesterday. So if you're Shane Smith and the Hatchets, you hope that continues. If you're South Central, you just got to be happy that the energy level is where it is for your team, that they have bounced back successfully from a really rough opening game of this tournament. But you hope that when you get Jacob Smith into the game, and we'll see if he starts with his 3 fouls in the second half, if he could stay on the floor, because you can keep him out there and do what he did in the first quarter and get the shooting that you got from Weston Nielsen. If you can get that both going at the same time, then all of a sudden you're really tough to deal with.
Yeah, that's a good point, but it's going to depend on Jacob's ability to stay out of foul trouble through the first essentially 8 minutes here in this second half. He is going to start. It looks like starters are out there for both of the clubs.
Meanwhile, Caleb Moody over there, manning the camera, lets us know that we were up to 236 viewers this game on our live stream on our YouTube channel. So that's good news to hear. Glad everybody's enjoying that. We are off and running here in the second half. It's going to be Hatchet basketball. They trail by 6 as we get going.
Same triangle and 2 defense.
And they get it in on the backside. That is Gracie, who put up a shot fake and then went in. Good hesitation from him. He's got his first 2 points of the night, and the Hatchets are within 4.
Shane Smith has to be happy with that. Not only that they found Gracie, but Gracie had more of a controlled trip under the basket there. Nice shot fake, and then he was able to just to put it up and in.
Well, and Gracie did some scoring against Neoga yesterday with that triangle 2 being played. He's one of the guys that's going to have those sorts of openings. I mean, they're focusing on Manhart and Gurgle, and why wouldn't they? But that means that, there's chances for other people like Nathaniel Gracie to step up. Meanwhile, the Hatchets are playing defense now. It's Cougar basketball, and so far they haven't done much but throw it around out a long way away from the basket. It's Houston with it right now. Now gets it up top. Ooh, Seth Bergman tried to throw a pass over to Magnus, and it's picked off. That's Jackson Gurgle with a steal, comes flying in for the right-handed layup. Gurgle's got 9, and we have a 2-point basketball game. And Blake Doring, not too thrilled with the first minute and 18 seconds of this half. He calls the timeout. 6:42 to go in the third quarter. It is a 23-21 South Central lead over Windsor Stew Straws. Back in 30 seconds here on 97.9 XFM.
It's cold.
Diedrich Bank is proud to sponsor the NTC tournament. Diedrich Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Tom Henderson State Farm Insurance helps people manage the risk of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and help you realize your dreams. Contact Tom Henderson today.
South Central got the quick timeout there as they've watched Windsor Stew Straws score the first 4 points of this third quarter and get within 2. Hasn't been this close in a while. The Cougars had a 13-point lead during the second quarter, and now it's down to a single bucket.
And the Cougars gave up 2 shots right at the rim, one off the steal, one in the offense, where they just threw it over the top and got it inside.
It is South Central with the ball now as Houston, being guarded closely by Manhart, now gets it over to Callaway Smith. He's dealing with Aiden Sayers. Up top, Jacob Smith catches now. Smith holds, doesn't dribble, gets it to fellow big man Seth Bergman, still out top. Easton with it, now feeds to driving Callaway Smith. Caught that pass in down low, went up for the shot, and got fouled as he put it up. So that's going to be, no, they called a jump ball, okay.
And I initially thought we were going to have a foul.
Well,
but I think the defender did a good job of getting his hand on the ball.
So Easton will inbound on the baseline, bounces it into Smith. Smith lets the traffic clear, jumps in. Instead of shooting, throws a pass underneath across to Seth Bergman, and there is another tie-up, and that time the held ball is going to go to the Hatchet's second South Central turnover.
Hindsight's 20/20, but Bergman probably should have went ahead and shot that ball. But it's easy for us to say sitting up here in this booth.
Yeah, everything's easy from our vantage point. As South Central, or rather the Hatchets have the ball with a chance to tie or take the lead here. Just 2 minutes into the third quarter, Gurgle gets it out to Hendrickson, back to Gurgle. Gurgle Gives one over to Nathaniel Gracie, mid-range jumper, and we talked about Gracie kind of needing to get a little more aggressive. He hits that 18-footer. He's got 4, and it's a tie ball game, 23 up.
And we talked about how the Hatchets would probably have that shooting percentage swing back in their favor. Well, they've started off 3 for 3, but they've been 3 pretty good looks.
Yeah, I mean, wide open there with Gracie a little farther out, but still, if you're a good shooter, you'll take that open look every time. So South Central with the ball. Magnus is thinking about trying to take a screen from Bergman, and instead now goes all the way around, drives on the left side, gets his first bucket of the night on the layup. He's got 2, and it's a 25-23 Cougar lead.
Nice, strong move to the basket. Used his body well to shield off the defender.
Aiden Sayers had it on the wing, gets it over to Gurgle. Gurgle dribbles back to the middle. Now over to Gracie, dumps it into Sayers in the paint. Really having a hard time finding anything to do. His shot missed, but Brody Hendrickson kind of just capped it, couldn't grab it, so he just sort of volleyballed it, and a teammate was able to grab hold. So
yeah, he purposely knocked it right back to Sayers. That was a great little play there by Hendrickson.
So now it's going to be Sayers driving in, puts up a tough shot on the baseline from 6 or 8 feet out, missed, rebound comes long, and as Houston went to get it, he was bumped by Gurgle, and that's not going to be a popular call with Stu Straw's fans, but Shane Smith says, we will we just relax. Just relax.
Yeah, the official called him for hitting him across the arm. I couldn't tell. He was going for a steal out on the perimeter as Houston tracked down the long rebound. And he's called for his first and the team's first here in the third.
South Central ball, 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. They've got the 2-point lead. Magnus going to take a three-pointer. He misses. And again, Hendrickson gets a hand on the rebound and sort of bats it to Sayers. They'll bring it up the floor in a hurry. Catching it on the wing is Sayers. Now over to Gurgle. Three-pointer is up. Three-pointer is off. Rebound comes out long to Houston. He's going to drive one end of the floor to the other. Manhart, though, defended it well. Houston's shot misses, and it's Nathaniel Gracie with the rebound. Pretty good defense by Manhart in transition there. Now Gracie's got it top of the key three. No, he doesn't take it. Gets it over to Manhart instead. Manhart dribbles over to the top. Now gets it to Gracie going to the rim. Changes hands with the layup. Ends up going up lefty. He's got 6 points all in this third quarter, and it's a tie ball game once again.
And he worked his way around Jacob Smith, who is still kind of playing conservative on defense in there as well.
3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and we are knotted up. South Central basketball, high post. That's Bergman holding it. One dribble now hands to Houston. Houston coming around, gets it to Magnus. Magnus takes the three, drives in, and then back out. Still has his dribble, gets it over to Callaway Smith. Smith takes the screen from Bergman. I think they're going to try a screen and roll, but Windsor Stu Strauss was able to sniff that one out. So they'll reset things out top, still working it around the perimeter. Houston gets the screen. They try it again. Still no luck. They tried twice, right, to roll off of that screen, and hadn't been room either time. Callaway Smith holding it on the wing, has it knocked away by Sayers, able to regain it, stay in bounds, drives in, covered up at the baseline, over to Bergman. Long possession for the Cougars.
But a good defensive stand by the Hatchets so far.
Yep, absolutely.
They're playing the man-to-man. We saw them in zone early in the game, but they abandoned that and have been man pretty much since the second quarter.
Out top to Bergman now. Over to Houston on the wing. Houston surveys. Still hasn't used his dribble. Thought about maybe he was at least looking at Jacob Smith trying to post up Manhart. Didn't have it there, so he just backed out with the dribble. Over top to Bergman. Now Callaway Smith on the wing. Smith crosses over a couple of times. Now Smith out top. That's Jacob Smith. Tried to throw a pass over to Magnus, but Jackson Gurgle picks it off. And after that long possession, it's a breakaway layup for Jackson Gurgle off of the third Cougar turnover. He's got 11. And Windsor Stu Strauss back out front for the first time since the first quarter, 27-25.
Hatchets 5 of 7 from the field. South Central 1 of 3 here in the third quarter.
South Central with the ball, still just working it around out top. We're under 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Now driving in is Callaway Smith. Connor Manhart tried to take the charge, didn't get the call, and Callaway Smith put the shot up and good off the glass. Blake Doring gets the timeout. 1:37 to go in the third quarter. We're tied at 27 between South Central and Windsor Stu Strauss. Back in a minute on 97.9 XFM.
Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Northside Ford on North Keller Drive in Effingham will find a vehicle that works for you. Check out Northside Ford's selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs today.
Hi, this is Kathy from Barlow Lock and Security. Secure your home or business with a customized system from us. Good luck, area teams in the tournament.
Washington Savings Bank is here for you through every stage of life. We make banking easy and convenient.
Video and audio streaming of the 2024 National Trail Conference Tournament is proudly presented by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
Timeout South Central, tied at 27. It's going to be Windsor Stewardson basketball out of that timeout. Weston Nielsen gets back into the game for South Central. Taking a seat is Jacob Smith. So he navigated most of that third quarter without picking up a fourth foul, but he's watching from the bench right now. It's Hatchet basketball. Get it over to Sayers on the wing. South Central defense just daring Sayers to take a three. He doesn't, but Nathaniel Gracie steps in just inside the arc at the top of the key, hits that jumper. 8 points for him, all in this third quarter, and his Hatchets are back up too.
Well, he's found the soft spot in the zone, and he's taken advantage a few times here in this third quarter.
Now cutting on the backside, Magnus catches a long pass, goes up for the shot. He was fouled, I think, in the act of shooting, so he'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, and it's going to be Jackson Gergel, I do believe, picking up his second, and it's the team's second in this third quarter. Just a minute and 1 second on the clock. That was a beautiful backdoor cut and a great pass rifled from the wing into the opposite post.
Magnus' first free throw, though, was off the mark. Free throw shooting has not been fantastic tonight.
Well, South Central's done fine until that one, but they just haven't been there very often.
It was Windsor Stewardson, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
But Magnus has an 0 for 2 trip there. Chasing down the rebound as Colton Bridges into the game for the Hatchets. So Windsor Stewardson with the ball in the 2-point lead. If they score here, it'll be their largest lead of the night. Van Hart bounces one into Gracie in the corner. Back to Van Hart. High post is Bridges. Gets it to Gergel. Gergel driving in. Finds Gracie on the baseline. He's covered up quickly before he could get a shot off as Callaway Smith pulls on him in a hurry. South Central playing a little man right now. They've got it over to Sayers in the corner now. Gergel calling out, telling people where to go as he holds on the wing. 22 seconds left in this third quarter. He'll back out. Looks like the Hatchets will play for the last shot here. Sayers holds it on the wing. 12 seconds to go. Now back to Sayers. 10 seconds. Sayers with it, driving around the screen. Over to Manhart. Three-pointer was contested off the rim. Fight for the rebound. And there's going to be a foul as both Sayers and Bergman were going for that one. And the foul is going to go against Aiden Sayers at the Hatchets with 2.3 seconds left.
So he picks up his third foul of the ball game here with just a couple of ticks left in the third quarter. He will check out. Ryland Rinker replaces him.
We haven't even mentioned that pretty soon on our sister station, KJ Country 102.3, you'll be able to listen to Effingham and Totopolis girls basketball as Greg and Mike will have that one covered. Inbound pass. They tried to throw it to midcourt, did the Cougars, but it was batted away by Windsor Stewardson, and the third quarter buzzer sounds as the loose ball rolled toward the sideline. So a good third quarter for Windsor Stewardson. They turn a 6-point halftime deficit into a 2-point third quarter lead. It's 29-27. Hatchets over the Cougars. Back for the fourth quarter in a minute here on 97.9 XFM.
Heartland Human Services is proud to sponsor the NTC tournament. Your physical and mental health are similar. Take care of both for a happy, healthy life. If you've got a passion for helping others, apply today at heartlandhs.org.
Come see all the new and exciting Chevrolet and Toyota vehicles here at Dan Heck Chevrolet Toyota, South Route 45 in Effingham, or shop and buy 24/7 at danheck.com.
Person-to-person money transfer. Easy, the way it should be. Learn more at crossroadsbank.com. Crossroads Bank. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Video and audio streaming of the 2024 National Trail Conference Tournament is proudly presented by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
In the fourth quarter here, South Central trails Windsor Stew-Straws 29-27. Cougars have the basketball. We'll get to Matt Robinson with some team stats from that third quarter when we get a chance. Play is underway out there as Windsor Stew-Straws outscored South Central 12-4 in that third quarter to take this 2-point lead. Weston Nielsen holds at the free throw line and throws it away. Jackson Gergel picks off a pass, trying to go the length of the floor, took a little contact, and then got the finger roll to go anyway. And Shane Smith for Windsor Stew-Straws says, after that bucket, I'm going to call a timeout. 31-27, Windsor Stew-Straws leads South Central, 7:30 to go in the fourth quarter, back in 30 seconds on 97.9 XFM.
Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Northside Ford on North Keller Drive in Effingham will find a vehicle that works for you. Check out Northside Ford's selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs today.
Person-to-person money transfer. Easy, the way it should be. Learn more at crossroadsbank.com. Crossroads Bank. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Well, the Hatchets got the bucket and the timeout. They lead by 4 here early in the fourth quarter. That is the largest lead of the game for Windsor Stew-Straws over South Central. Somebody's going to play in the Consolation Championship tomorrow. Somebody's going to play in the 7th place game, and we still got a long way to go to decide that. 7:13 showing on this fourth quarter clock, and it is South Central basketball. They trail by 4. It is Easton with it right now. Looking for the screen from Magnus, goes to the baseline. He's cut off there. Looking for a teammate, skips it up top to Nielsen. Nielsen holds. He has got Gracie in front of him. Comes off the screen, gets open for a 3. That one's no good, but a good offensive rebound for Seth Bergman. But as he brought the ball down, it was knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Cougars.
Yeah, he did a good job to battle inside, and Gergel actually probably did a good job to knock it away from him.
Tell me about the shooting real quick in that third quarter, Matt.
Windsor Stew-Straws 6 of 9 from the floor, did not attempt a free throw. Both teams were 0 of 1 from beyond the arc. South Central 0 for 2 from the free throw line, but just 4 shot opportunities in that third quarter. They went 2 of 4.
Hatchett's got Brody Hendrickson back in the game. He replaces Colton Bridges as South Central inbounded it on the baseline. Callaway Smith drove to the baseline. He was cut off, gets it out to Bergman on the wing, back to Nielsen. Nielsen looking for room to drive, gets in, kicks back out in the corner. Now they swing it around, open 3 for Magnus, and Magnus has his first triple of the game. Huge shot for the Cougars, pulls them back within 1, 31-30.
Penetration and kick out, good ball movement, found an open shooter in rhythm.
And folks, Matt Robinson loves penetration and kick out, loves to see it, and that's because it works. So it is Hatchet basketball. Their lead trimmed down to a single tally. Ryland Rinker going to try to do something about that. And what a time to make your first bucket of the night. Ryland Rinker, the junior, hits a 3 from the wing, and all of a sudden it's back to a 4-point game. Windsor Stew-Straws out front.
Well, Ryland hasn't lacked confidence in shooting the ball, but he finally got one to go, and that's a welcome sight for the Hatchet faithful.
So back to the Cougars end of the floor. Nielsen holds out top right now. Dribbles to his right. Now back to his left. He's trying to work against the aforementioned Ryland Rinker. Gets it to Heaston. Heaston had some room to drive, but he has Gracie come in and get in front of him. Gracie, good defense, but the rebound came down to Heaston. Heaston put another shot up, and unfortunately for the Hatchets, Gracie could not keep his hands on that rebound, went out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Cougars.
I think some Hatchet fans thought he might have had help losing that ball, but as it stands, it's Cougar basketball under the basket.
It was good defense by Gracie there, though, to stay straight up and force Heaston to take a couple of pretty tough shots there. They get it into Callaway Smith on the block. He had a very hotly contested shot, and he missed. Rebound comes down to Gergel. Gergel leaning in on the other side. Quick shot. He missed that one. Rebound comes down to Callaway Smith, falling down as he threw it up ahead to Heaston. Heaston's shot blocked by Manhart, and then Heaston goes to the floor as he was battling for that loose ball rebound. Goes out of bounds, apparently off of him.
Yeah, he just had it hit off of him after he couldn't get the shot to go, and he's a little frustrated. He's had 3 opportunities in pretty close and couldn't get any of them.
Business has picked up a little bit here, and the physical play may be taken up a notch as we hit the 5:10 mark in this fourth quarter. Hatchets with the ball in the 4-point lead. Manhart caught a pass, tried to drive in, and just had it poked away. South Central with the takeaway. First Hatchet turnover. Easton as they work it up the floor in a hurry to the Cougars. Swing it around to Bergman. Bergman one dribble and then picks it up. He needs help, gets to Magnus. Now looks to set a screen for Magnus. They're trying to decide which side he should set it on. Magnus ends up not using it. Instead, bounces one over to Callaway Smith. Now over to Nielsen on the other wing. He beats Sayers off the dribble. Good feed on the other side to Houston. Houston missed the shot, got the putback, and that one was rejected by Nathaniel Gracie out of bounds.
Boy, it was a nice drive and a kick from Nielsen to Houston. And Houston had the first one come up short, got the board, and then had the second one swatted out of bounds. Houston will have a seat now as Jacob Smith returns.
Yeah, so Jacob Smith and Weston Nielsen on the floor at the same time for the first time, at least in the second half. As Smith had some first half foul trouble. Out of the inbound, they get a three-pointer in the corner for Magnus. That one was off by a healthy margin, and it was Hendrickson who grabbed the rebound for the Hatchets. So Gergel busted up the other way, hands off to Manhart. Gracie over to the corner. Now they get it to Cutting Gergel. His shot is off. Rebound, though, goes out of bounds off the hands of Jacob Smith, who just had that one kind of eat him up off of the side of the rim.
We saw some contact on a shot or two in the lane down on this end. I think there might have been some for Gergel on that end as well. But like I say, in the fourth quarter, they're letting them go a little more here.
There's an open three out of the inbound play and could not make it. It was Connor Manhart. But then Brody Hendrickson gets the rebound and puts that one back up and in. He's got 4 points, and the Hatchets lead is 6, their biggest of the game. And Blake Doring, the South Central coach, wants to talk it over. 3:54 to go in the game. It's Windsor Stew Straws 36, South Central 30. Consolation quarterfinal basketball from the NTC tournament on 97.9 XFM.
Compass Advisory Group is here to guide you in the right direction for all of your investment and insurance needs. Contact Kurt Strohmeyer or Corey McDaniel at 217-347-9697.
Hi, this is Kathy from Barlow Lock and Security. Secure your home or business with a customized system from us. Good luck, area teams in the tournament.
Since 1937, Geckner Brothers has been proud to support local and area teams, and that continues with this year's NTC tournament. Best of success area teams from the family at Geckner Brothers. Video and audio streaming of the 2024 National Trail Conference Tournament is proudly presented by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
Well, for South Central, it's only a 6-point deficit with still 3:54 to play. But on the flip side of that, Blake Doring's club trails by as many as it has all night, so they took the time out there.
They've only made 3 shots here in the second half.
Slow going. Yeah, they had 23 points at halftime. Magnus drives in, ran into a host of defenders, had the ball knocked away, came back up with it. So Cougars will try to reset their offense. But boy, Windsor Stew Straws has defended well in the second half. Jacob Smith trying to drive there, lost his footing, got tripped up, he felt like, but the ball came loose, and coming out of the scrum with it is Connor Manhart. Second Cougar turnover. So Hatchet's ball, they've got a 6-point lead down to 3:15 to go in this fourth quarter. They're going to run a patient possession here, and why not?
And if the Cougars continue in the triangle, too, they can, because Gergel and Manhart are being chased, but just bring someone else on the perimeter, and they can hold it, if that's what the Hatchets want to do.
Manhart is the man with the basketball right now. Bounces it over to Gracie on the wing. And again, Gracie had room to shoot there, but why would you when you've got a half-dozen-point lead and you're just trying to kill clock? Under 2:50 to go now. Coach Doring yelling at his team from the sideline, maybe telling them they need to do a little something different. They may have just switched a man right there.
There's a drive towards the basket, and with 2:40 on the clock, we're going to have our first foul of the fourth quarter that's been whistled.
Could be another thing he's saying is you can get a little more aggressive now because you got fouls to give, and you might eventually want to be in the bonus. I don't know if you're going to be able to swing that or not with 2:40 left. But it is a foul against Max Magnus, his first. Windsor Stew Straws will inbound the basketball. But not before Coach Doring has a quick chat with Johnny Meinhardt on this officiating crew. We never mentioned them. Howard Manuel, Don Lighty, Johnny Meinhardt, your crew here tonight. The conversation continues here. We still have an inbound of the basketball. Now I think we're going to play. And it's going to be Jackson Gergel on his own baseline, taking the ball and trying to get it inbounded. He has it. Looking. Throws it out top. That's Hendrickson with the catch. They swing it around to Gracie on the corner. Gracie holds, skips one over, and that's an open three for Gergel, and he hits it. Jackson Gergel has got 16 points, and Windsor Stew Straw is up 39-30. Their largest lead of the night. Just 2:24 left to play.
Well, that was the most open look Gergel's had tonight. There had to have been a miscommunication on defense there.
Now it's going to be Callaway Smith rising on a deep three. They have to score in a hurry, but he couldn't make it. Gergel gets the rebound. He's got several of those also. With 6. So 16 points and 6 rebounds. Pretty good when you haven't had a lot of room to shoot and you still score 16, but there's dueling turnovers. Stew Straws lost it, then South Central gave it right back. There's a shot as Gergel drove in, had his back to the basket when he threw that one up. He missed it. Rebound rolls to the floor, and you have a tie-up over in the corner. There are at least 3 bodies on the floor there, and the alternating possession is going to keep it with the hatchet.
So Windsor Stew Straws 2 turnovers, then South Central with their 3rd turnover.
Yeah, I mean, the Cougars needed that possession and they needed a quick score as they're down 9, but instead they give it back, and it's the Hatchets inbounding from the baseline, and Shane Smith didn't like how that was materializing, so he will call a timeout.
He was afraid of a 5-second call.
1:52 to go in the game. It is 39-30. Windsor Stew Straws leading South Central back in 30 on 97.9 XFM.
Washington Savings Bank is here for you through every stage of life. We make banking easy and convenient.
Since 1937, Geckner Brothers has been proud to support local and area teams, and that continues with this year's NTC tournament. Best of Success area teams from the family at Geckner Brothers.
Hatchets took the timeout. They're going to inbound the basketball on the baseline, trying to avoid the 5 count there as Jackson Gergel couldn't find a teammate to throw to, so Shane Smith calls the quick timeout. Now we'll reestablish the possession as he throws it out top. Catching is Connor Manhart. He's quickly fouled by the Cougars as they got Evan Hoover in the game to do exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was the plan. It's just their second team foul with 1:50 on the clock, trailing by 9. If they can't get a quick steal, they pretty much going to have to foul to stop that clock.
Hoover's out there, so is Seth Jones. Now Windsor Stew Straws throws it in the backcourt. Tracking that down is Gergel, and he's quickly fouled again by Hoover.
Credit the official there, understanding the situation, realizing Hoover's trying to foul and not making it to where he has to just absolutely hit him hard.
Don't want anyone to get hurt, right? But at a certain point as a player, you have to do what you have to do to get the foul called. Now that time, Hoover can't get the quick foul on Gergel as he caught that in the backcourt, put a little move on him, spun away. Took a few extra seconds for Evan Hoover to get his 3rd personal.
Yeah, I think Hoover went for the initial steal as he saw the ball and swiped at it when he came up empty. Come back and picked up a foul a couple seconds later.
So Evan did his job. He goes right back to the bench along with Seth Jones. Now back to Callaway Smith, and he's standing infected as the starters on the floor minus Jacob Smith on the bench and Weston Nielsen out there. And again, Gergel with a catch in the backcourt as Windsor Stew Straws just keeps inbounding it and keeps getting fouled. Now we will go down to the other end of the floor and shoot bonus free throws, as that was finally the 15th foul for the Cougars. But they did a pretty good job of getting them off quickly.
Well, Max Magnus, I don't believe, was trying to foul in that situation. It looked like they were going to try to get a double team, but when Gergel went up to catch it, Magnus kind of got underneath him. So it's his 2nd and the team's 5th.
When you employ that strategy, you know it might work that way anyway. As Gergel makes another free throw, he's got 17. One more coming as Ryland Rinker gets into the game. Hendrickson takes a seat for the Hatchets.
And the other reason I say that is Gergel's probably the last person they would want to send to the line, hoping to double team him and get the ball out of his hand.
He does miss the second, though, as Matt Robinson just jinxed him right there. Weston Nielsen gets the rebound, but the Cougars are going to have to be in a hurry here. Kick it back out to Callaway Smith. No room for a 3. Instead tries to throw it on the opposite block to Nielsen, or Heaston rather. That one is intercepted by Connor Manhart. He's fouled by Heaston. And we'll walk to the other end and shoot free throws as the Hats look to add to their 10-point advantage.
Heaston was open underneath there, but Callaway Smith saw him just a second too late. And by the time, if you're late, you just can't throw that pass from the wing to the opposite block. And stepping in front was Manhart, and he got fouled.
Connor Manhart has made a three-pointer tonight, and that's it until that free throw, which is nothing but net. He's a scorer for this team, but has been a focal point of that South Central defense. Really 2 games in a row that Connor has been the subject of, kind of a gimmicky defense, and so the other Hatchets have done the job. But right there, Manhart makes both free throws, gets the Hatchet lead up to a dozen, under a minute and a half to play. Desperation time for the Cougars. Magnus lets go of a three-pointer, left it short. Gergel with the rebound. He's quickly fouled, and Hatchet's doing the job they need to do here to salt away the win.
Yeah, they're just trying to challenge a little bit, understanding if you can make them take a little bit of a tough shot because they're rushed, then just get to the board. And they've done a nice job of that here in the second half in particular, but really throughout the game.
South Central are going to call off the Dogs here as you've got Lucian Amos, Trevin Sidwell, Hudson Moore all getting set to check into the game. Gergel makes the first free throw. He's up to 18 now. One more sub in there. 21, Lucas Bersot also into the game. So I think everybody that's available for the Cougars now into the fray. 13-point lead for the Hatchets, who will also run some subs in there. Bridges gets back in. They've got Brody Bible, the 6'5 freshman, into the game. They got 14, Seth Rinker, a 5'9 junior out there. And back into the action is Blaze Verdine. He's played a little bit earlier in the game as Gergel's second free throw is also good. 19 for Jackson. He will stay in the game. Cougar basketball putting up the shot for 2 as Trevin Sidwell missed that one. Gergel with another rebound. Now he's challenging a double-double, I would have to think. He's got to be close.
That's his 8th rebound.
So 19 points and 8 rebounds out of play. Hatchet basketball, they're up by 14. South Central is not going to foul anymore. They're just going to make Windsor Stew Straws pass it around. So it's going to be the Hatchets advancing to the Consolation Championship tomorrow. As they come from behind, they trailed at halftime, but played a fantastic second half. They will advance. Held South Central to 4 points in the third quarter and 3 points so far in the fourth quarter, barring any other scoring. It's going to be single digits in the second half allowed by this Windsor Stew Straws defense. They're still just throwing it around out there now. Gergel's just going to hold at the midcourt line, and nobody will step up to challenge. 20 seconds to go. We can kind of just let the clock dribble down. But Coach Shane Smith's team does it again, comes from behind and gets the win.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd rather them get off to quicker starts, but the bottom line is they win and they move into the Consolation Championship game.
And finally, that game buzzer sounds, and your final here tonight in this Consolation semifinal is Windsor Stew Straws 44, South Central 30. Hatchets move on to the Consolation Championship game tomorrow. They'll play the winner of North Clay and CHBC, while South Central falls into the 7th place game. They'll play the loser of that North Clay, or not North Clay CHBC, but rather the got a little mixed up with what the games are going to be. They're going to play North Clay. Windsor Stew Straws will play North Clay in the Consolation Championship. South Central and CHBC will play in the 7th place game. So I didn't foul that up too bad, I hope, folks. But anyway, your winner by 14 is Windsor Stew Straws. We'll take a look at the stats from that game, have a chat with both coaches, and get you set for our championship semifinal between Altamont and Diederich. All that when we're back on the postgame show in 90 seconds on 97.9 XFM.
Heartland Human Services is proud to sponsor the NTC tournament. Your physical and mental health are similar. Take care of both for a happy, healthy life. If you've got a passion for helping others, apply today at heartlandhs.org.
Come see all the new and exciting Chevrolet and Toyota vehicles here at Dan Heck Chevrolet Toyota, South Route 45 in Effingham, or shop and buy 24/7 at danheck.com.
For over 30 years, SPS has been providing care to the surrounding area. Specializing in around-the-clock and hourly care, we focus on in-home and nursing home care. If you need help with your loved ones, call Mitchell or Sherry today at 217-690-3240. Since 1937, Geckner Brothers has been proud to support local and area teams, and that continues with this year's NTC tournament. Best of success area teams from the family at Geckner Brothers. Video and audio streaming of the 2024 National Trail Conference Tournament is proudly presented by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
Tom Henderson State Farm Insurance helps people manage the risk of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and help you realize your dreams. Contact Tom Henderson today.
Assisting farmers for over 100 years.
Back at Altamont, where we have just heard Windsor Stew Straws defeat South Central 44-30. So the number 7 Hatchets advance to the consolation championship game against North Clay tomorrow. That will be the second game of our first 3 games of the day. Of course, the 7th place game will be between CHBC and South Central, and that starts at 11:30. Then the consolation championship between North Clay and Windsor Stew Straws, and then of course the 3rd place game between St. Elmo Brownstown and one of the 2 teams warming up on the floor right now, Diederich and Altamont. Windsor Stew Straws trailed this game 10-7 after a quarter and 23-17 at halftime. They got down by as many as 13 points in that second quarter, but from that point on, a 27-point swing for the Hatchets as they ended up winning this one by 14. They outscored the Cougars 12-4 in the third quarter and 15-3 in the final period to come away with again, a win that looks a little more one-sided than it really was. The Cougars just couldn't get the ball in the hole in that second half, and the Hatchets were the benefactors of that. They will move on try to get a 3rd win of the tournament tomorrow. Matt Robinson's been working on the stats from that first game, and he has got some team numbers to share with us, I do believe.
Taking a look at it, Windsor Stew Straws finished shooting well in the second half. 10 of 17. They were 17 of 40 overall at 42.5%. From the free throw line, 5 of 6 in the fourth quarter, 6 of 11 overall at 54.5%. And in the second half, they were 2 of 4 from three-point range, 4 of 11 overall at 36%. South Central shooting numbers went down tremendously in the second half. They were 3 of 16 from the field, 11 of 37 overall at 30%, 0 of 2 at the free throw line in the second half, 5 of 7 overall at 71%, and 4 of 15 in the ball game from beyond the arc at 27%. Turnovers, South Central 9, 7 of them in the second half. 6 turnovers for Windsor Stew Straws in the game. Windsor Stew Straws out-rebounded South Central 26-23 here with the team numbers. Taking a look at it individually for the Hatchets, Jackson Gergel was 7 of 14 from the field, 4 of 6 at the free throw line. Gergel had 8 rebounds and finished with 19 points tonight. Connor Manhart was 1 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 at the line. He had 5 points in this one. Aiden Sayers 0 for 1 from the field. He grabbed a rebound. Nathaniel Gracie, 4 of 7 from the field. All of his made shots in that second quarter where they pushed the lead. He had 4 rebounds with his 8 points. Brody Hendrickson was 2 of 4 from the field, finished with 4 points and 6 rebounds. Rylan Rinker, 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 2 at the line, 4 rebounds and 3 points for Rylan. Colton Bridges, 1 for 1 from the field, 0 of 1 at the free throw line, 2 points and 3 rebounds. And Blaze Verdine finished 1 of 1 from the field with 3 points. Gage Heaston for South Central, 1 of 9 from the field, 6 rebounds and 2 points in this one. Max Magnus, 2 of 8 from the field, 0 of 2 at the free throw line, a couple of rebounds to go with his 5 points. Callaway Smith was 1 of 7 from the field, 2 rebounds and 2 points. Seth Bergman, 1 of 2 from the field and 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He had 6 rebounds to go with his 3 points. Jacob Smith, 3 for 4 from the field, 3 of 3 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, all of his stats in the first quarter. And Weston Nielsen, all of his stats except for 1 missed shot in the second quarter. He was 3 of 6 overall with 3 rebounds to go with his 9 points. And Lucas Bersat tried a shot. Trevin Sidwell tried a shot. It did not go. He was 0 for 1 from the field tonight. So those are your stats from game 1.
Well, Matt, thank you very much for those statistics from the first game. We're still hoping to have a chat with both Shane Smith from Windsor Stew Straws and Blake Doring, the coach of South Central, why don't we go ahead and take another 60-second break? When we come back, we'll have those conversations, and we'll get you set for Diederich and Altamont, as that is championship semifinal is coming up here on 97.9 XFM.
Hi, this is Kathy from Barlow Lock and Security. Secure your home or business with a customized system from us. Good luck, area teams in the tournament.
Washington Savings Bank is here for you through every stage of life. We make banking easy and convenient.
Heartland Human Services is proud to sponsor the NTC tournament. Your physical and mental health are similar. Take care of both for a happy, healthy life. If you've got a passion for helping others, apply today at heartlandhs.org. Thanks for watching the NTC tournament. Provided by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country 102.3.
All right, back here at Altamont, and the victorious coach, Shane Smith from the Windsor Stewardson Hatchets, is up to join us. His team picked up the 44-30 win over South Central. And, Coach, that game had a lot of similarities to your win over Neoga yesterday. I thought South Central came out playing a similar defense. Yeah. You got behind early, and then you played a fantastic second half and ended up getting a 14-point win. That doesn't really – 14 points doesn't really describe how that game went, though.
Yeah. It was a dip and tuck all the way through, and you know, at the end of the games, you know, lots of people who look at the papers in the morning, they see 14 and they're like, oh, it wasn't much of a game. But we've been in those where, you know, it's so close, and then at the end you just pull away. Our kids, you've talked about it every time we've talked to you about how they battle. You know, we did. You know, one of the things about being in the spot we're in, you don't get a chance to practice once you get into these 3 games straight, and so we knew we were going to see this a couple times once we got in, and we prepped it a little bit, but we're not real fresh on it, and it took a while for them to get their sea legs on what we're supposed to do in those situations. And finally, in the second half, we got patient, and we found the spots that are open to triangle into.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll talk about Jackson Gergel in a moment, but yesterday Hendrickson got you some big buckets, and then today Nathaniel Gracie in that third quarter, he's the guy. He found those soft spots. He pulled the trigger on those shots, and he really propelled you guys out to the lead.
Well, we've said all year long that Nathaniel's a big difference maker for our team, and just keeping him in the system where we need him for the game. You know, sometimes we play him in his 3 and he's outside. Tonight we needed him to be in the high post because that's where he's most effective in a game like this, and he did a good job of settling in there.
I mean, it says something about Gergel, though, that he can be one of the focal points of a triangle and 2 and still get you 19 points.
Yeah, I had no clue how many he got. I knew he was playing hard, and you know, and he's like anybody else. He gets frustrated for a little bit, but he's a good enough player that he relaxes. And a lot of that's his teammates. I mean, there was a real nice screen by, I believe it was Brody, stepped up and set a nice screen that popped him open a couple times, and then guys just seeing when he's moving across and setting good screens for him, and just being aware of where the people are at on the floor.
And, of course, we could talk about point totals all we want, but the fact of the matter is you limited the Cougars to 7 points in the second half. That says as much about this game and this game your team played as anything.
Yeah. Sometimes we come out and our defense just looks like a sieve, and then we, you know, we bend, and then the guys figure out that we got to get in, we got to lock in, and they really did a good job. I was really unhappy with Connor at halftime with some of his defense and shoot him a little bit, and I tell you what, he responded, and he did a great job. He got a couple steals, got in there. He wasn't scoring, but he was doing things in other places, and really everybody did. Rylan had a big 3, had a big steal. Colton had a put-back basket that was big when we needed it. We were kind of on the ropes, and Aiden just doesn't turn the ball over.
Yep.
And that sometimes is just his job, and tonight that was his job.
Well, Coach, one last thing. You know, you said yesterday the goal is to come in here and win 3 games. You're still on track to do it.
We're on track for 3. It's going to be tough because I know Josh and his boys are going to be wanting a little revenge because I think they feel like that, and I know they're just as good as we are, and we got to watch them or they'll get us.
Well, Shane, we appreciate you taking the time. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Dustin.
All right, that's Shane Smith, coach of the Windsor Stewardson Hatchets. They were the winner here tonight. he's nice enough to join us. And now also nice enough to join us is Blake Doring, the coach of the South Central Cougars. So we'll let him get saddled up. Coach, I mean, you know, you have to be, first of all, a lot happier with the way you got out of the gate here tonight than you were in the opener against Diedrich.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I thought we did everything we wanted to do for the first 14 minutes and some change, and we're in control, moved the basketball, got great shots, rebounded it on the defensive end, limited their two main kids, took care of the ball, made layups, and when we called that timeout, the loose ball with 1:53 to go till half, up 21-10. The point at that was we got to finish the half strong, and unfortunately they went 7-2 run to make it 23-17 and kind of get back in it, and unfortunately for us, it never quit for them, and we just missed some easy ones, gave them some second chances, and some easy run out layups. And that's the ball game.
Jacob Smith was such a big part of your game in the first half. Scored 9 of your first 10 points, but then got into a little bit of foul trouble. Wasn't able to score again, and I think he just had to play a little tentatively the rest of the night, trying not to pick up that fourth in the third quarter. It affected a little bit of things he likes to do. I mean, he's one of your big guys, right? And had to be a little more tentative.
Yeah, he did a nice job. Got off to a great start. Made a layup or two, and got to the free throw line, and unfortunately, got in foul trouble there and had to sit out for a long stretch.
Also, wanted to talk about Weston Nielsen for a minute. I mean, there was a point there where he nailed 3 three-pointers for you, all in pretty quick succession. And again, a freshman out there, obviously playing in this environment for the first time, seems like maybe he that kind of thing doesn't bother him too much.
No, I don't think so. He's got a lot of minutes under his belt for us, and continues to hit shots and do things we want. Sometimes you just got to remember he's 14 years old out there and playing 8th grade last year. And but no, he's doing a fine job, and he's going to continue to get better and better and better and better for us.
Now, I know it's not the close to the game that you wanted. The second half wasn't, offensively, just weren't able to get a lot going. But from the first game to the second game, and then playing tomorrow, what are you trying to build on? What are the lessons you hope you take away from this?
Yeah, I think as a competitor, you learn a lot about your guys and your team. When you're going through adversity and things aren't going your way, and we got a great opportunity to come back here tomorrow and play against another quality ball club and get a chance to finish the tournament the right way and get a win and go into next week strong.
I mean, that's the thing. Championship, 5th place, 7th place game, you're going to be playing somebody good in this tournament, so you better be ready tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, in this conference, you can guarantee that every year, I think. So, yeah, you got to be ready to go.
Well, Coach Doring, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to let you get on your way, but thanks for taking the time, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. That's Coach Blake Doring from South Central, nice enough to join us. We will go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we will get you set for the championship semifinal that's coming up here. It is going to be number 2 Altamont, number 3 Diedrich, and we'll have it for you here on 97.9 XFM.
Thanks for watching the NTC Tournament, provided by Premier Broadcasting, 97.9 XFM and KJ Country